Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Orbit Potato. This is Democracy 3. We are playing as the British Empire. Indeed, we are. Things are going well. Things are going remarkably well, in fact. We have got very, very large reserves, which is kind of nice. People don't super hate us. I mean, they sort of kind of do a little bit, but it's not too much to worry about. We've got to worry about the Revolutionary Army, and pretty much everybody here is a potential threat to us. But at the same time, we must progress like there is nothing else that matters. Socialists seem to like us. Capitalists don't quite hate us. You know what I mean. Things are ticking over just swimmingly. Now, we have some problems, you know. I am not ignorant about these problems. Is that what I'm trying to say? I think that is what I'm trying to say. What I want to say is that I know they exist, and I'm actively trying to solve them, or I want to be actively trying to solve them. Fear of terrorism, these are slowly just going to reduce over time, fingers crossed. I don't really know if there's anything that we can actually do to make this go down any faster. It was just pure bad luck that we had, you know, 2 terrorist attacks, one after another, and it's sort of just, yeah, it's just annoying a little bit. It doesn't really do anything super majorly important, but hey-ho, it's just another red spot that we don't really like to see. Ghettos should be coming down. Racial tension is at an all-time low. Citizenship tests, wow, okay, wow. Since the racial profiling, which was, we got rid of the racial profiling, did we? I'm not entirely sure what we did with that, actually. Yeah, I think we must have, yeah, done something with the racial profiling. As you can probably tell, this is the next recording session. This is my second recording session for this game. But hey-ho, racial tension is going way down, which is really, really nice. The environment. How's the environment doing? Well, I mean the environment. How's the asthma epidemic going? Not too bad. The environment is not very good at all. Not unexpectedly, in fairness. Obesity is not something that I'm super thrilled about. At the same time, agriculture subsidies are costing us a lot of money, and they are really not doing very much. I mean, they're putting obesity up, which is well, let me tell you, it's not great. It's not great at all. But the food price, what is the food price? The food price is very high. I mean, agriculture subsidies are trying to take down the food price a little bit, but not being very successful. Now, part of the problem, or part of the food price increase, the 44% food price increase, is due to the fact that we've got a ongoing water shortage, which is not something that I'm very excited about, let me tell you. Water purification. We're just going to bump up water purification to the absolute max. It's going to cost us 19 political capital to raise that or lower it, so that's literally our turn. But I think that by doing that, it's going to have a lot of knock-on effects. Obviously, first things first, it's going to save us 3 billion, right? It's going to save us 3 billion, which is fantastic. Also, it's going to mean that the food price is not so ridiculously high, and I think theoretically that should mean that that obesity should be coming down. Obviously, we would like to be doing something with this agriculture subsidies policy, but it's not a priority for me, which is fine. So yeah, asthma epidemics coming down, which means the environment is slowly improving. What about the real estate bubble that we've got ongoing? This is an interesting one, in fact, and it's not something that I think we can solve super duper quickly. Let's go over here a second. State housing is a policy that would probably go a long way here. And when I say it would go a long way, I think it would just allow us to get rid of this bubble a little bit quicker. But I don't really think that that's too damaging for us. And pollution is obviously completely dependent on how good the environment actually is. And let me tell you, the environment ain't very good at the moment. But car emission limits, which we're putting in place, is apparently going to do something for it. Should probably raise this. Yeah. We should probably raise this if we possibly can. Let's try and do that next turn. Let's do car emission limits. A civil war. In Liberia. Oh, God. Let's... Who do we want to appease most? Let's remain liberal. Remain neutral. It's a shame, but unfortunately it's something that we've got to do. Alright. Wow, okay. Interesting turn. Let's try and recap it. GDP absolutely died because of a market meltdown. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. We've got well, I say a little bit, a lot of money reserved, so we're not in too much of a financial pickle. Crime is down, which is good. Poverty is up, which is bad, but it's only up a tiny little bit. Welfare Minister has also resigned, Grace Wood. Not thrilled about that, but, you know, sometimes shit happens. Security briefing. All is well in the land of the security services, which is very, very nice indeed. And an egalitarian society is developed, which is thrilling, which is very, very good, in fact. Really, really happy about that. Proving that, you know, we have a very equal society, which is truly, truly lovely. All right, what did I say that we were going to do? I said that we were going to try and fiddle around with car emission limits. Now, I see no reason to do this, or no reason not to do this, should I say. CO2 emissions coming down and the environment, you know, plinking up by however much percentage that is, 15% or whatever. Really very, very, very good, in fact. Agriculture subsidies, could we potentially get rid of this? Not really, without 24 political capital, which is a lot. I would hasten to add, it is a shit ton of political capital. But hey-ho, still got reserves worth 3,000. Where are they? Yeah, 3,000 billion. What's that? That's a lot of money. That's what that is. I'll tell you that for free. But yeah, no, things, yeah, not super thrilling at the moment in terms of economic progress. But hey-ho, you know, it's a-okay. We did get rid of that sales tax. Sales tax is the worst policy. It's just the absolute worst. Bloody terrible. Hate it with a passion. I would love to reshuffle the cabinet, but I'm just gonna fire people individually, which is really bad. Wow, look, okay, so I can't actually fire him. Because, okay, fair enough. Because we don't have the political capital. Shame, we're just one political capital off. Alright, let's try and hire a bunch of people that actually care about us. So we want people that are really loyal. I don't really care. I don't really care who they are. I mean, it doesn't really make that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things who you actually hire to be your cabinet. A couple of things do make a difference, and I think they help stuff like the implementation time, like how long do specific policies or specific policy areas take to implement. It's a little bit by the by. It doesn't really make that much of a difference to the overall state of affairs. In my personal opinion, obviously my personal opinion can be wrong, but you know what? It's just an opinion. Did you even want to be law and order? Desired jobs. Oh, thank God you did. I didn't even look. Who wants to be transport and is going to give me a lot of political capital? You want to be... Okay, great. We're going to get shit tons of political capital right now. It's going to be fantastic. Only 6 more potential ministers left. That's cool. I'm okay with that. They will refresh, which is very, very nice indeed. So we're gonna we just lost about 9 billion there because we were running a little bit of a deficit, and now we're gonna lose 143 billion because, as you can see, next turn, yeah, our income is going to be very, very, very much below our expenditure. But hey, I'm not actually super worried about that. I think that it's going to be absolutely fine in the long run. Child labor law. What do we want to do with the child labor law? I think we should probably criminalize child labor. Yeah? I mean, that seems like the sensible opinion, the sensible thing to do. I love it how the country's in total shit, right? I mean, everybody's starting to hate us, but we've got a super, super equal society. I mean, everybody's still super fucking productive, and we're still maintaining a technological advantage. Unbelievably. I mean, wow, crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. Not to mention the fact that colonial Britain, or the British Empire, has somehow managed to weasel its way into making a space program. I mean, the British Empire. When did the British Empire end? The British Empire ended in like what, probably World War I or II. You could probably call the end of the British Empire, so to speak. Probably World War II. Okay, call World War II the end of the British Empire. 1944. There wasn't per se, well, there was a space program in 1944, obviously, but, you know, 40 years previous to that, I don't think you would have found a space program in Great Britain, in the UK. I really don't think you would have, but hey-ho, maybe you would have. Maybe in the 1800s there was a space program. I am just entirely unaware of the existence of one. Okay, checking out the threat assessment. Nothing is dangerous, which is encouraging. Alcohol abuse. Why is this a thing? Why are people continually trying to drive themselves into the ground? Give me an alcohol tax. Where the hell is the alcohol tax? Where is it? Am I just not seeing it? I'm probably just not seeing it. Unless we've already implemented it. Is it not? Have we already implemented the alcohol tax? Alcohol consumption, alcohol tax. Yeah, we've already implemented the alcohol tax. Should have known. Okay. Bop. Let's bop you all the way up. Wow, we're going to go from collecting 17 billion all the way up to like 50 billion. It is going to exacerbate poverty. It's going to increase poverty by a huge amount. And it's going to hurt equality a little bit. So let's try and not, you know, go super crazy with it. We don't want to destroy equality. Which is kind of nice. Racial tension, all-time low. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And that should be helping out the ghetto situation. Yeah, it's coming down fairly fast, in fact. Really, really good to see. How are we doing for water? Why have we still got a water shortage? I thought I tried to fix this. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did try to fix this. Water supply. Yeah, I increased water purification. Water demand. The water demand is going down. And that affects the water supply, obviously. So why do we still have this ongoing problem with water? If we're producing more water than, you know, we are demanding, then purely, you know, by process of elimination, this means that we don't have a water shortage. I think, however, the problem here is that water shortage is not tied to anything within these two mechanics here. So the water supply and the water demand, the water supply and the water demand affect GDP. They don't actually affect, yeah, they don't actually affect anything to do with this specific water shortage bubble. And I think the only way that we can really go about resolving this is through the use of upping the environment. I really do think that we've got to try and improve the environment somehow. And that's going to be difficult. That's going to be really, really challenging. So let's have a look for some policies that would be interesting for the environment. Now, I'm not entirely sure what I've got in mind here. I really do not know. I mean, clean energy subsidies. Is that a good place to start? Is that a good place to start? Is home fabrication grants a good place to start? Clean energy subsidies, I think, is a good place to start because it gives us a nice big boost, which is kind of nice, and it gives us a little bump to wind energy and solar power as well. So can't really complain about that. CO2 emissions coming down. Capitalists, not too much of a fan of that specific policy, but same time, can't really complain, can you? You just can't. You just can't. All right. Anything else? Anything else that sort of takes our fancy? Where were we looking? We're looking... Where the hell was I looking for? Was I looking... Yeah, I must have been looking in the economic area. Home fabrication grants. I mean, yes. Yes, that's interesting. Is there anything that's better for us, though? Eco-home regulations. Yeah, okay, fuck it. Eco-home regulations. Pretty much unnecessary, but it's going to decrease emissions, and it's going to make environmentalists happy with us. And it's only going to cost 1.9 billion, which, let's face it, is absolute pocket change at this point. Because, I mean, look at the amounts of money that we're dealing with. I mean, you know, over 800 billion worth of income. I mean, how much did we make last time? Income, yeah, 853 billion pounds per quarter. That's a lot of money. That's a shit ton of money. Real estate bubble is going to be ending very, very shortly indeed. Pollution is going to be, yeah, up and down a little bit. So what's important to note is that we could really manage to save a shit ton of money if only we focused a little bit more on our red bubbles. I say focused a little bit more on our red bubbles. I have been focusing a lot on the red bubbles over the last couple of turns, but, you know, for example, 7.5 billion. It's not very much money. It's a lot of money, though. 10 billion total. 10 billion total for these two. You don't have a cost attached. I didn't think so. Alcohol, I know for a fact, does have a cost attached. 40 billion. 40 billion in total. Nothing for ghettos. Nothing for fear of terrorism. Nothing for that. And you've got a little cost attached to you. So 41.65 billion. You know, give or take, I think. Yeah, 41.65 billion could be saved by just eliminating 3 bubbles. No, 4 bubbles. 4 bubbles. 1, 2, 3, 4. We eliminated those, we'd save 40 billion. That's a third of our deficit right now. So clearly we need to pick up the slack. A liberal plot. Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Why is the oh my god, liberals. Why do you insist upon being so angry at me all the time? Let me get rid of this. I feel that this is one of the stupidest things in the entire game, this limited automated trading thing. There's no reason for it to ever be up here unless you're, you know, you're super role playing as a socialist or whatever. But there's always a reason for it to be down at the very bottom because, you know, who gives a shit if it's at the very bottom? I mean, self-employed people. Who gives a shit about self-employed people? It literally makes no difference to the game overall. And GDP, it's also, you know, it's also taking away from GDP. And why would anybody want to do that? I just do not know. Internet currency adoption, not a mechanic that I muck around with an awful lot, I must say, but it's something that I do enjoy looking at from time to time. Has the environment increased any more since last turn? Not by much, but you know what? You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. As one singer once said. Do we have enough political capital to implement anything radical? Not really. Home fabrication grants. I think this will help the environment. Well, apparently not. Apparently this won't. Okay. But apparently this is going to completely hurt. Wow, a lot of things. Okay, I did not think that this would be the case. I thought this would help the environment, but apparently, I was just completely wrong. And fuck it. we've got a special little policy. Fantastic. Fucking do it. I'm okay with that. City farms. Will city farms help the environment? No. Not entirely sure that they will. Obviously, the big one over here is transport. If we can manage to implement some transport policies, then we would be golden. Car usage is sort of an environment saver. The reason that it sort of is because if you get the telecommuting, what? Car usage is 0? Rail usage is already super high? Wait, what? Car usage is 0? Or it was 0 until it jumped up to, like, however large that is. Maybe the petrol tax is killing it. Maybe the petrol tax is way too high. Petrol tax isn't high. How strange. How very strange indeed. But hey ho. I mean, I suppose this could be looked at as a slight benefit for the environment because it makes it, you know, it makes it more efficient for you to ride in cars with your friends. When you ride in cars with your friends, you're saving the environment, aren't you? It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode of Democracy 3. My name, of course, has been Old Potato. And, yeah, you've been watching a playthrough of the British Empire, which I must say I am quite liking. So, ladies and gents, thanks very much for watching. My name, of course, has been Old Potato, and I will see you next time. Bye.